Donald Trump is having a really bad day today because he and many in his administration are quickly learning just how crazy the MAGA base is. When you dangle a conspiracy theory in front of their faces for years, as Donald Trump has with this whole Epstein conversation, they tend to latch onto that and not let go. And any suggestion that their theory is not true will send them into a spiral. And that brings us to this moment right here, where Donald Trump's own DOJ and FBI have concluded that Epstein had no client list and that he committed suicide. He wasn't killed, as the conspiracy theorists have suggested over the years. And let me tell you, this has enraged MAGA. They are furious at Donald Trump. So I want to show you some of these responses from some of these prominent MAGA influencers online. But before I do that, I want to quickly break down the story for you to give you some specifics. Donald Trump's DOJ and FBI have concluded that they have no evidence that Jeffrey Epstein blackmailed powerful figures, kept a client list, or was killed, according to a new memo obtained by Axios. The administration is also releasing a video in both raw and enhanced versions that it says indicates no one entered the area of the Manhattan prison where Epstein was held the night he died in 2019. The video supports a medical examiner's findings that Epstein, of course, took his own life, and the findings represent the first time that the Trump administration has publicly contradicted the conspiracy theories. And here's that memo from the DOJ and the FBI. They write, "This systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. There was also no credible evidence found that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals as part of his actions. We did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties." This is sending MAGA into a spiral right now, especially because in February, Pam Bondi said this about an apparent client list. Take a look.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So Pam Bondi is claiming that at that time in February, the list was sitting on her desk. And now there is no list, according to the DOJ and the FBI, and the MAGA base is furious. Here are just some replies to Dan Bongino, his most recent tweet, which has nothing to do with Epstein, but his own base, the own MAGA fans who love Dan Bongino, have turned on him. For example, this guy says, "Just blink twice if they threaten you." The next one says, "You should be arrested for criminal conspiracy." Corey says, "Please resign. You, Cash, and Bondi need to go." Pew says, "You guys are doing great work, but if you want public trust, we want non-redacted Epstein files." And there's plenty more. People saying that they're a sellout, all trust is gone, that they're traitors. You will never not be discredited now. FBI Deputy Director Don Bongino is participating in the cover-up of this large ring, this conspiracy that MAGA has believed for so long exists. That's just Dan Bongino. Other MAGA influencers are coming out full force against Donald Trump, like Cernovich, for example, on Twitter. Huge MAGA account, big Trump fan. He said, "No one is believing the Epstein cover-up at Donald Trump. This will be part of your legacy. There's still time to change it." So MAGA's position, it appears, as you just saw in some of those comments, is that this is a cover-up of sorts, that Donald Trump, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, Pam Bondi, and all these other figures that Donald Trump has appointed in his administration are covering up these alleged secret documents. They really believe it, that Kash Patel and Dan Bongino is like part of the deep state now, according to MAGA. It is insane. And here's more. Jack Posobiec, who was one of the people who went to the White House and received one of those Epstein binders, if you remember all the way back then. They paraded them around. They were saying this is the most transparent administration in history. And now Jack Posobiec is really upset. He is going on a tirade, or went on a tirade on Twitter last night saying, "I want answers on Epstein, as many as possible, not press releases, answers. What intel agency was Epstein working for?" Apparently, he was now a foreign agent. Or in the final one, "The American people deserve answers on Epstein and the victims deserve full justice." Like, their theory is that there's a cover-up, that apparently Donald Trump is lying to them as well. It's just never good enough for MAGA. Their own people can get into office. Their own guys can be at the FBI, the DOJ, the presidency, and they'll still believe that there's like this secret force in the government preventing things from coming out, that Donald Trump is somehow being jeopardized by people in his own administration who he picked. Here's another one where Gunther Eagleman, huge MAGA fan, said DOJ says Epstein had no client list. Thoughts? And he just kind of left it open-ended. And of course, people in the comments are, this infuriates me. Elon lied. Sounds like they were paid off or threatened. Some of these more crazy conspiracy theories. But all the way back in February, when Pam Bondi said that the list is on her desk, he said Pam Bondi says the Epstein list is on her desk right now. LOL, there are a bunch of Democrats panicking. I just would like a follow-up from Gunther on all those Democrats that are panicking. I mean, this has been like central to their conspiracy theories that Democrats are somehow part of what Epstein did, except they've never provided any evidence for the claim. Here's another one. And this is another guy who went to the White House and received one of those Epstein binders. This is Chad Prather. He was there at the White House. As you can see, it says Epstein Files Phase 1. Look at him holding it. He's so proud. He's like, yeah, we got this. Transparent administration. Now he's not so happy with Donald Trump. He wrote, after the news broke last night, "Where's the Epstein info the American people were promised? You handed us a notebook and promised more was on the way. You told us it existed, and now you say it doesn't? America deserves answers." So he too is alleging some form of conspiracy. It's just so crazy and so interesting how quickly MAGA flips from, we believe Donald Trump, we believe Pam Bondi, we believe Kash Patel. That they're trying to dig deeper. We believe that there's some conspiracy. And then they say, well, actually, we did, and there's just nothing there. Like the Biden administration wasn't hiding anything, as MAGA believes. And then they're still doubling down. They still believe that like the deep state is operating. I just don't understand the mind of MAGA. And it's gotten so crazy, as we've kind of alluded to here, that there are some conspiracy theories. There are just other MAGA Republicans who are not even saying like, hey, we want answers. There are other Republicans like this guy, Jordan Sather, who's going full-blown down the rabbit hole insane. And they're claiming that the deep state is involved. This guy says intuition hit, says some shills in the FBI slapped together a fake video and an unsanctioned memo, dumped the video on some obscure justice.gov webpage while leaking that memo to Axios. Now it looks like the Trump admin is covering up Epstein, and oh my God, Trump must be involved. Puts them in a tougher situation over disclosing Epstein details because an official narrative is being established. Clean up the moles, Cash. So this guy is saying that Donald Trump doesn't know about this, that somebody in the FBI has like infiltrated the main servers and posted fake things on the Justice Department website, and Donald Trump, Kash Patel, they're not involved with it. Again, it's just the belief that there's like this deep state out there operating. And here's another one I want to show you. Again, claiming that this document that we saw, the one that we read earlier, is actually fake. This MAGA account says, I believe the Epstein DOJ FBI statement is fake. No date, no page numbers, left-hand seal is blurry, left-hand seal doesn't line up, no disclosure, inconsistent language and formatting, nothing on DOJ or FBI website regarding the statement. So MAGA is really believing that this is like a fake statement, that somebody hacked the FBI and put out a fake statement, and that there's some form of conspiracy taking place. You're kind of getting a sense of what we're seeing here. Either there's two kind of MAGA fans right now. Either one, they're kind of turning on Donald Trump, saying that he's participating in a cover-up, and Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, Pam Bondi are all part of it. And the other side of MAGA is saying that actually Donald Trump is not involved and somebody like hacked them and posted this fake memo. It is insane. But what we do know is that MAGA is losing it. They are freaking out over this memo. They are freaking out over their conspiracy theory being debunked by their own guys, their own politicians, their own fans. And so they're going on this like tirade. So anyway, I just had to show you all of these different reactions we just looked at. They're just too funny not to. And I will leave the video there. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here. Make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. It goes an incredibly long way. Drop a like on the video, comment, let me know what you think about this story and everything that has happened in the past 24 hours. And as I always say, I greatly appreciate you, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.